I think this project is a lot about insecurity, but I think this year it turned a lot into more what we're truly ashamed of. And that means what makes you think that you are unlovable or not worthy. And I think that's a lot more than just an insecurity. It's something that you feel is who you are, and that the more we think about our shame and the more we keep it inside, the more we are unable to separate that from who we think we are. So a lot of people tell me that I should smile more, and that I should be friendlier, and that I shouldn't walk looking down, and that I should be more positive. And I've always wished that I could just hand people a written file of why exactly my outside isn't happy when my inside is trying really, really hard. And my battle with depression, panic disorder, and anorexia has been one of the most powerful things in shaping who I am. And it's one of the most things that people don't know about me. And it's just really, I didn't appreciate this project at all the first time I saw it. I was like, why are these people writing on themselves with Sharpie? Like, this is crazy, but I mean, this is really hard to do. And I think all these pictures are beautiful, and everyone who did them and who's here, I mean, like, that's incredible. And I think it's incredible that everyone showed up to their appointment and went through with it. And I think that that's something to say for it of itself. But when you have to hide something like that, you end up keeping it all in, and that means that you don't have a lot of room for everything else inside your head. And for me, I'm not sure how a kid is supposed to understand why they're in pain if that pain is invisible to someone else. Because when I was a kid, I didn't have a broken leg, and I didn't have a limp or an accident or anything. I just had a lot going on in my head that I didn't know how to share with people. So when I was a kid, I started making that being visible, because I didn't know what else to do, really. Since then, I've experienced 1 eating disorder, 2 suicide attempts, hospitalization, and more prescriptions that I can even talk about. But more than that, it's been a lifetime of learning that my sadness isn't who I am, and that my mental illness is inherited and not deserved. And I still struggle every day with an addiction to self-harm, and the knowledge that I really can't shake this off. I mean, it's not something I can cure, and it's something biological and chemical, and it's in my brain, and I can't fix it. And it's already April, and I've always hated summer because it's too hot to wear long sleeves. And I can't hide my scars and my cuts, and they'll stare, and they think that I did it for attention. And they won't see the scars on my stomach and my feet and my legs that I promise are not for attention. But to me, they represent a plea for help that so many people since have answered with more love than I can possibly explain. And just opening up was the key to that. It wasn't hiding the cuts on your arm or the scars. And I wish I could tell this to everyone, not strangers, I don't think my friends, so they can understand my bad days and my lows. But more than that, I want to tell people that this idea that we have that you can't love someone if you don't truly love yourself is just, I think, ridiculous, because everyone I know who struggles with loving themselves is fully capable and willing and able to love someone else. And it's really hard to explain what it feels like to feel like you're alone in a room of people you know who love you. But depression is a lot more than that, and it's a lot more than not being able to love yourself, because we are all willing to love other people. That's why I didn't like my picture at first, because it looks really sad, but you don't really take a lot of pictures that people don't force you to smile for, and that made that a lot more real for me. I didn't want to take my picture at first because I fell back into that trap of not wanting to tell people a story that they didn't want to hear. And that's just really dangerous, because when it comes down to not wanting to tell people your story, you subscribe to this idea that it's not okay to talk about. And it's not okay to talk about mental illness, because cutting scars, I mean, no one wants to hear about that. It's not pretty and it's not nice, and it hurts. It hurts the people that you love. I know it hurts my mom every day. Well, she saw the picture, she's like, we've become so much closer, and She's like, God damn it, you got another tattoo on your arm. She didn't say anything about scars, but she's great. So the less you talk about it, the less you validate yourself, and the less you validate every single other person that's scared to talk about it, who's still feeling that inside their head and their heart. So to revise an earlier statement, I've survived one eating disorder, 2 suicide attempts, and years of self-harm. And what I've gained is so much more important, and is a profoundly overwhelming gratitude of life and being here, and all of the people in it. And I'm so happy that I wasn't successful in giving that up, because I am a product of love and not of self-hatred. And I'm still here, which is what I wrote on my hand for the project. And yeah, I think that when I came to college, I started pursuing art, and I didn't see this project as someone's art before, and I think that looking at it like that has changed it so much for me. And I absolutely respect this as your art and your craft. Because I mean, for me, like, painting and sculpting has really become like sort of a spiritual experience, and I think I understand this a lot more after taking this picture.